Attorneys for Donald Trump are asking the federal judge presiding over his January 6th trial in Washington to recuse herself. They say U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan's past public statements about the former president and his connection to the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol call into question whether she could be fair.
Chutkan is a former assistant public defender who was nominated to the bench by then-President Barack Obama and has stood out as one of the toughest punishers of January 6 defendants. Our political panel joins us now. Karoline Leavitt is a spokeswoman for Make America Great Again, Inc. Jim McLaughlin is a pollster for McLaughlin and Associates and a Trump pollster. Welcome to you both. As we understand, this request appears to be somewhat of a long shot, given the high threshold for recusal, and also because of the decision on whether to recuse herself would actually belong to the judge, who appears to be unlikely to step aside from the case. But Karoline, regardless, why is it so important for the president that someone else step into the role?
Well, it's a very important step by the president's legal team, and it's perfectly justified when you look at who Judge Chutkan is. Of course, she is an appointee from former President Barack Obama, the ally of Joe Biden, whose current Justice Department is targeting President Trump in all of these cases. But Judge Chutkan also comes from a family of former Jamaican communist revolutionaries, and she's also had some really divisive and partisan rhetoric when it comes to President Trump. She described the 3-month-long, very violent, destructive Black Lives Matter protest as very peaceful, but then the January 6th protest as an insurrection and the greatest danger to democracy in our nation's history. And when it comes to President Trump, of course, the defendant in this case, right, she has said that he should be prosecuted and he holds full responsibility for his actions. Well, what action? So she's coming to a conclusion before even hearing the evidence. She's completely biased and should not be overseeing this case.
We'll move to another Trump case, if we can, with you, Jim. This one with the former President Trump, his attorneys asking a court to dismiss several charges against him. This one down in Georgia in the 2020 election interference case. Trump's attorneys here, they're filing new motions saying he wants to adopt the same arguments as a few of his co-defendants used. Do you think this gets done? Is this just the beginning of the process?
Look, it's pretty amazing what's going on, the politicization of the Justice Department. And by the way, I'm the pollster, so I got to give you some polling numbers. Yeah. 74% of all Americans say these indictments against President Trump are politically motivated. And another 60% actually say that Joe Biden is behind these indictments. So they understand the politicization that's going on here. I mean, this is simply amazing. Third world banana republic stuff that's going on here. And I think, look, under normal circumstances, I think the Trump lawyers could get most of these charges thrown out of court because they are unconstitutional. But the problem is the deck is rigged against President Trump and his lawyers right now. So it's a very difficult process. And the reason why they're doing this, the Democrats who always talk about wanting to defend democracy, instead of wanting to let the voters decide who our next president is going to be, they see all these polls where Donald Trump is beating Joe Biden right now. They're trying to get him off the campaign trail. They're trying to get him off the ballot, and it's wrong. And thankfully, the American people are seeing through this.
All right. We're, of course, going to wait and see what happens ultimately in the courtroom, but the court of public opinion has a very different perspective that we've clearly been following. Karoline Leavitt, Jim McLaughlin, thanks so much for coming on today. Appreciate your time.